All right, let's talk about one of the most fascinating archetypes out there, the crone. We're going to dive deep into her incredible transformation, tracing her journey from this really feared figure in old folktales all the way to a celebrated symbol of wisdom and power. It's quite a story.
So, let's start with a quick question for you. When you hear that word, crone, what's the first image that pops into your head? Come on, be honest. For a lot of us, it's probably, a scary witch from a fairy tale, right? Hooked nose, maybe a cackle. But is that really the whole story? I think we're about to find out it's a lot more complicated than that.
Okay, so before we can really unpack her whole journey, we've got to go back to basics. We have to ask the fundamental question: who is this figure, the crone, that shows up in our stories again and again for centuries?
Well, if you look at the traditional folklore definition, it's not exactly a compliment, is it? Withered, malicious, sinister, yikes. But here's the really crucial part. She almost always has some kind of magical or supernatural power. And, more often than not, that power was seen as something to be feared.
And this reputation, this sinister vibe, it wasn't just some abstract idea. Oh no, it was built on some very specific and, frankly, terrifying characters in stories from all over the world. I mean, look no further than Baba Yaga from Slavic folklore. She is the quintessential crone, right? The hut on chicken legs, flying around in a mortar, classic stuff. But look closer at that description. She's not just evil. She's also a vital guardian of the other world. That's fascinating, isn't it? It hints that even when she's at her most terrifying, there's a complexity there, a real power to her role. So when you see these traits listed out, you start to see the pattern. Withered, malicious, sinister. These aren't just descriptions, they're judgments. They're words designed to make her an outsider, someone you should stay away from. And in that context, her magic isn't a gift, it's a weapon. It's a threat.
But what if that's not the whole picture? What if all that fear was just a mask? What if behind all those wrinkles and the scary reputation, there's a completely different story?
And it turns out there is. Because this whole evil old witch thing, it's not a universal truth. Not by a long shot. In a lot of cultures around the world, the older woman isn't seen as a threat at all. In fact, she's seen as an absolutely essential part of the community. Let's just take Cuban folklore as one example. Look at these roles. She's the one who holds the family together. She's the keeper of traditions, passing them down through generations. She's the healer who knows the cures. It's a total 180 from the scary witch, right? Here, her wisdom isn't something to run from. It's something people actively seek out. So this more positive way of seeing her has led to something really powerful in our own time. A total rebirth of the archetype. Especially in the last few decades, you see movements like feminist spirituality and neo-paganism taking this figure and completely reframing her.
And a huge part of this rebirth comes from the idea of the triple goddess. It's a way of looking at the three main phases of a woman's life. First, you've got the maiden. That's all about youth, potential, new beginnings. Then comes the mother, nurturing, fertility, creating life. And then finally, you have the crone. And in this context, she isn't some scary ending. She's the culmination, the wise, powerful final act of a full life. And this comparison just lays it all out so clearly. It's a massive shift in how we see her. What folklore called the end of life, this scary finality, is now seen as the end of a cycle, a natural transition. What was a symbol of evil is now a symbol of deep wisdom. And maybe my favorite one, the outcast becomes a symbol of freedom. Think about it. Freedom from worrying about what people think, freedom from social pressures, that's powerful stuff. Which, of course, brings us to the big question. If she's not the villain of the story anymore, then what does the crone actually represent for us today? What is her power all about? It's this. The modern crone is the wise woman, plain and simple. Her power isn't external. It's this deep, internal strength that you can only get through experience, through looking inward, and through living a full, authentic life. I absolutely love this quote from Clarissa Pinkola Estes because it just nails it. The one who sees far. It's not about literal eyesight, is it? Her power isn't in some spell book or a cauldron. It's about a different kind of vision, seeing with the heart, with the soul. It's about tapping into that deep, creative intuition and understanding the world on a level that most people just can't.
So when you look at her whole journey, you see she's gone from being pushed to the edges of the story to becoming the very center of her own power. The crone isn't the end of the line anymore. She's a symbol of inner sight, profound wisdom, and real personal freedom. She's not just the end of the story, she's the one who finally understands what the whole story was about all along. And that's an incredible reminder, isn't it? That sometimes the greatest wisdom and freedom are found in the very things we were once taught to be afraid of.